Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Track Cannon. With today's video, I'm gonna hope to try to dispel some links people keep trying to make between AIs from Earth and the Borg. So look, there's two particular AIs that featured from Earth in Star Trek canon. And that's going to be Nomad and that's going to be V'ger. Now, there's been a lot of speculation over the years and decades about the Borg being in some way having influenced the creation of both of these two, or there's been even some speculation that V'ger itself was the reason behind the creation of the Borg. So listen, I figured today what I'm gonna do is talk the way that I normally do, using canon, right, to kind of break down why I don't believe that's the case, and give a little bit of information about two of the most powerful AIs that's ever been presented in Star Trek, and that is V'ger and Nomad. So y'all know what's finna happen when I put these on, right? Y'all know it's finna get real when I put these on. So first, let's talk a little bit about Nomad, the lesser known of the AIs when it comes to these two particular individuals, because a lot of people know a lot about V'ger. Hell, I even did a video on V'ger, but I haven't done one on Nomad. So let's talk a little bit about Nomad. See, Nomad was launched from Earth in, like, I think it was early 2000, like 2002 or something like that. And it was from the Nomad program under this doctor named Roy Kirk. Now, Nomad is from the episode The Changeling from the original series. Now, here's the thing about Nomad. First of all, Nomad's whole name, whole designation, if you want to put it that way, I think it's like Nomad MK15C or something like that. I got way too much useless Star Trek information in my head. Anyway, now the thing about Nomad is this. Nomad was the first interstellar probe designed by Earth to basically go out and find new life and new civilizations, basically make contact with them, record it, all that kind of good stuff, right? Anyway, during a meteor shower, it got hit by a meteor, basically, and it got damaged real bad. Its computer memory banks got all jacked up, fragmented, all that kind of stuff. That's where we come across this probe named Tanru. Okay, speaking of Tanru, side note, Tanru, they was gonna put him or it in Star Trek Enterprise, right? And they decided not to do that. But what they did put in Star Trek Enterprise, I think in the episode Civilizations, was the species called the Malurians or something like that. And the Malurians is the species that when Star Trek, the original series came out for that episode, The Changelings, Nomad had destroyed their whole system, right? Destroyed all the Malurians. But if you want to see who the Malurians were, they were in the episode The Civilizations from Star Trek Enterprise. But anyway, by TOS, Nomads then wiped all of them out. So anyway, Tanru. What's going on with Tanru? Tanru is a probe that was launched by alien civilization, probably for terraforming, because its mission was to basically get rid of bacteria and those types of things on planets and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, it ran across the damaged probe Nomad, right? And somehow they ended up blending, and Tanru's programming filled in for the missing damaged parts of Nomads. So basically, the mission, instead of it being seek out new life, and then Tanru's programming being, hey, sterilize, all these bacteria and stuff off the planets, they basically got mixed, and now it was seek out new life and sterilize that life if it's not perfect, okay? So here's the thing. Tanru wasn't of Borg creation. All right, because that's not a thing that the Borg do. They don't go to a planet and sterilize it from bacteria and all that kind of stuff. So already off the bat, it blending with Nomad didn't create some kind of link to the Borg, right? They have absolutely nothing to do with each other. One is from an alien civilization that was terraforming, and one was a probe from Earth that was damaged. Now, Nomad was extremely powerful, like extremely powerful. Nomad basically can bring people back to life after it killed them. It was that powerful. Nomad can erase all the memory you have in your head. Speaking of, I wonder how her got re-educated so quick by the next episode, because she was back at her station and everything. So talk about the education system in future Star Trek is next level. Anyway, so that's Nomad, right? So Nomad is a mix, like I said, between Tanru and the Nomad MK15C probe. All right, so all right. Now let's talk about V'ger. Now, here's the thing about V'ger. Now, when I did my video about V'ger, I tried to explain to people that V'ger had accumulated all knowledge that was on our plane of reality. There was literally no question that V'ger wasn't able to answer, save one. How do I ascend to another plane where there are more questions? Okay. That being said, V'ger knows all about the collective. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it has a version of the collective digitized in its alternate reality memory digitally saved already. Now, that being said, V'ger cares nothing for assimilating. It digitizes the information. All right. It doesn't shoot nanites. It doesn't inject probes. It doesn't do none of that. It fully digitizes you. You gone, and it recreates that. It recreates that in its digital world. That's how V'ger operates. Now, that being said, V'ger is way more powerful, like by orders of exponential magnitudes, way more powerful than anything that the collective could muster. All right, like anything. So there is no way even that the Borg could assimilate V'ger. Nothing. They wouldn't even have the memory capabilities to assimilate the knowledge that V'ger has. The only link that I could draw between V'ger and the Borg would be that the Borg probably seen V'ger or heard about V'ger, and just like the Omega particle, consider V'ger to be like an Omega being, because it is the perfect example of biological and technological life. Yes, V'ger is part biological. Aliyah. So anyway, and Decker. So think of it this way. Neither one of those two AIs, neither one of those two extremely powerful and omnipotent, well, we know V'ger is pretty much omnipotent, but Nomad, he was semi, he wasn't omnipotent at all. He was just super powerful. Anyway, man, the Malurians would have been, I'm happy that they put them in Enterprise, man, because a lot of people don't know that the Malurians were the people that Nomad destroyed in Star Trek, the original series. So, like I said, if you want to know anything about the Malurians, go back and check out the episode from the Star Trek Enterprise before Nomad just wiped out their whole system and genocided them all. Go and check out that episode, Civilizations, from Star Trek Enterprise. Anyway, so I hope that this dispels. I think I even did a video on the origins of the Borg based in beta canon, and it had nothing to do with V'ger or Nomad or Tanru. So anyway, let me know what you guys think, man. Leave it in the comments of what you guys think is anything in canon that would support V'ger or Nomad in any way being linked to the collective. And if I've convinced you, man, and you just want to have a little simple debate, leave your comments in the sections below. Thank you guys for always supporting the videos, man, and leaving the likes and the comments. It's been an outstanding journey, man, and I'm looking forward to the future of the channel. And as always, man, peace, recycle, and say to whales, you guys be cool.